That was a banger, yo. That
How about
like,
that? How about
Oh,
that?
man.
That's a fantastic way to kick things off.
Okay. First off, this is a Sports Desk. Welcome back. We are now 3/4 of the way through our first year of production. I'm Splash. We have Jack right there, and we got Henry down yonder repping his Yankees. The Yankees face Boston at, I believe, 8:08 Eastern time.
Correct.
Interesting start time there.
Yeah.
Baseball always got weird
Yeah.
first pitch times though. So
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like I love I think the Braves games start generally at like 7:20, and a lot of other games are like 7:05 or 7:10 or 7:15. But the Braves are always at 7:20, so that's fun. All three of our teams made the playoffs. Go Braves.
Go Yanks.
Dodgers.
At least for now. Then when the Red Sox and Cardinals win, then I'll be the only one left. So sorry about that, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been? How's it going? How's living?
We're doing okay. It's been an interesting week in a lot of sports, to say the least.
A lot of things were upside down today. Not today.
Definitely.
This week.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a new team on top of a lot of people's power rankings. That's exciting. Sorry, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Could be actually, for my rankings at least, it's the third week in a row that I have a new team. So we'll get into that game in a little bit later, but we need to start with a bang. And instead of Mike Breen today, we are going with some hot takes from the U Stadium app. If you haven't downloaded the U Stadium app, I don't know how you're viewing this, honestly. You need to download it. It's on Google Play. It's on iOS. Just get it downloaded. Tag me at Splash. Call me a moron. If you do that, I'll send you, I don't know. What's a good number of points to send someone?
74.
That number came out of nowhere.
I don't know. I was just thinking
74.
I don't know.
My thoughts tend to drift every once in a while.
If you tag me at Splash, I will do my darndest to get you 39 points in honor of. I meant 390. Let's do that. I'll get you 390 points.
There you go.
In honor of show number 39. There's the hot take meter. Let's get it rocking and rolling with some hot, spicy goodness. Okay. Number one, this is from Nighthawk. Quote, Urban Meyer is misunderstood. Everyone would want a lap dance.
Already jumping in.
Yeah. Jumping in.
All right.
We'll touch on Urban Meyer for real later, but do you guys like the forwardness of this?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a very hot take out of the gate. I would even go Carolina Reaper on that one.
Ooh.
Okay. I think that.
Are you against lap dancers?
Yes, everyone wants a lap dance, probably. I don't know. I've never had one, so couldn't tell you. But
this is quite a start to hot takes.
Yeah, but he is a married man, and a married man, I believe, has to resist that sort of temptation.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know why he's in this situation, in all honesty. Urban Meyer's misunderstood. I think that's a pretty, I don't know. The way he puts it is not like the end of the world. Without context, I think it's fine. But with the context of he's an NFL head coach and he is married, I think we have a problem here. So I agree, Henry. I'd go Carolina Reaper. Jack, what say you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement there.
All right. We have the return of water. Yeah, we have the return of water, Mr. FTV, 1939. He says, fresh water is wetter than salt water.
Is that accurate? That might scientifically be accurate because it doesn't have as much salt.
Does something feel wet the less dense it is? Like, does that
is fresh water wetter than salt?
We've had the water debate on this show for
because the viscosity of salt water is much thicker than water is. So,
ladies and gentlemen, if you go on Quora and answer, can water become wetter? Quote, water can become wetter by reducing the contact angle between the drop and the substrate. So what? So he's not wrong that water has like varying degrees of wetness.
Yeah.
Huh. That's fascinating. Okay. Well, I wonder if that's going to be the end of our water talk.
Yeah.
Probably not, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. Jazz Vailoa says Miami. Oh, we didn't do hot take. I think that's fine. Maybe milk take for FTV there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Jazz Viloa says Miami lost those last 2 games because of Brissett and Grant.
I didn't
Henry, you're
see
shaking your head.
the Miami game. I know people were complaining like crazy about Brissett though.
Henry, remind me to send you the Game Pass login. I'm sorry.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I could use that too, honestly.
Okay, send me a message in the group and I'll send it. Okay. Anyways, I agree. Brissett was terrible. He was passable against the Raiders. It's one of those. You guys have seen enough of Fitzpatrick and the like Jameis when he was with Tampa that there's some gunslinger that can go really good, and there's some gunslinger that can go really bad. Jacoby Brissett is like the worst version of a gunslinger that it's like he's slinging poo. He had one big time throw, 5 turnover worthy plays. Davis Mills had one of the worst games in the history of professional football, and he didn't have 5 turnover worthy plays. It was laughably bad from Brissett. It was just laughably bad from Brissett. So I agree with Brissett. The coaching is just Flores is fine, but the offensive coaching in Miami is a train wreck. It is
needs help. It needs a lot of help. I feel like when Flores came in, they got really, really defensive minded. Mm-hmm. It seems like, and it feels
which isn't an issue, but I think they have too many cooks.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just you need more offensively as well. So.
It's reminiscent to me of the 2010-2011 New York Jets. They were good. Like if we're thinking about the Dolphins last year, they just missed out on the playoffs. They were a good team that looked to be competitive. And now this year, they're what? They're 1-3. So there's this factor of regression that comes as defensive-minded head coach. They're on their second offensive coordinator for Tua. Chan Gailey's out.
Yep.
I don't even know who the new one is.
They have co-coordinators. That's the issue.
Co-coordinators. That's awful. Who does that?
Yeah. Even there's
just pick teams one guy.
Yeah, exactly. To me, there's teams around the league. Say Dallas has an offensive-minded head coach and an offensive coordinator. The wires aren't crossing. Dallas is really good because Kellen Moore is calling up. You know how Madden, there's like plays that look cool, right? Like the play art looks really cool. Kellen Moore is calling those plays, and every single one of them is hitting. And we'll talk about Dallas later, but Kellen Moore is calling game after game beautifully. I don't know what Miami's doing. They called a screen in the end zone. That was one of the ugliest play calls I've ever seen. They're calling deep shots at random time. I don't understand the game flow. So I actually agree a lot with this, that the defense is fine. It's just quarterback. So I'm going to go bell pepper here.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's half and half. I don't think Jakeem Grant takes the blame. And now he's out to Chicago, so we'll see if that makes a difference. I would say since you're half right, it's a half on the scale. I'm going Cordero Bowl.
Okay. All right, fair. All right, let's go to a comment. We have Jared Graham. Shout out RJ. Jags break record for most consecutive losses since the merger.
This is a milk take.
This is going to happen. 26. So they would have to enter game number 13 winless. They'd have to start 0-12 this year.
They have to go 0-12 this year.
Yes.
Yeah, that happens.
I think it's going to happen.
See, let me pull up their schedule real quick. Because they played pretty well against Cincinnati.
Yeah, against Cincinnati, they played solid. One of my favorite jokes I saw was that the only reason that Lawrence and Burrow played so well is because they were playing 2 college teams in the Jets and the Jags and.
Okay, that one's a good one. Okay, next week they have Tennessee, then Miami, then a bye week, Seattle, Buffalo, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Atlanta, then the Rams. So the Rams would be that game, that difference between 26, Tampa Bay, the expansion Bucks lost their first 26, and 27.
They could honestly actually beat the Falcons, maybe.
That's a home game. Also, Miami's a home game.
I think they'll probably lose to Miami.
The Dolphins game is in Jacksonville, though.
It is in Jacksonville, but I'm not sure.
Tua should be back.
Yeah,
I think Tua would be back. I like this take. I like it. I think there's some basis that it could happen, but it's not a guarantee. The Jets just won a game against the Titans, so
I kind of just instinctually jumped in and was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna." I didn't realize their schedule though, but it could happen. It could not happen.
I'm gonna say Cayenne. I'm gonna say Cayenne here.
Yeah,
Henry.
Here's another live hot take.
Henry, Jags, real quick, go.
All right, Jags, Serrano. I think it's likely they'll trap games, Titans and Miami.
Okay, so the Jets, New York Football Jets, are heading to London to have a quote-unquote road game as noises happen. Okay, anyways, they play the Falcons next week in London. They have a bye week then at the Patriots. So yes or no, quick answers. Do the Jets beat the Falcons and Patriots consecutively?
I'm raising Frankie. I'm going 5 games in a row.
Whoa,
brother. Okay. So are you saying 5 games from now that they get to
5 games, including the Texans? They're going to win their next 4. They play the Bengals. They play the Patriots. They play the Falcons. The Falcons are awful. The Patriots have a rookie quarterback. It's a revenge game. They're playing him again. That's the only game they might drop.
Bro.
The game, as the Jets-Titans game went along, Zach Wilson got better and better and better, and then towards the end is when he got those explosive plays off.
Oh, he hit that beautiful deep ball.
That was
Corey Davis.
Filthy.
I don't want to get demonetized, but that was a gorgeous deep ball.
Yeah.
That is everything BYU Zach Wilson was in a nutshell. Just roll out, protection, who cares? Other receivers, who cares? I got one deep ball. He knocks it home. So great throw from Zach there. I do kind of want to lean Atlanta, though, because Atlanta, they lost to Washington, yes, but I thought they were the better team. And if Eric Harris, who had an unbelievable game, if Eric Harris hauls in either of his pass breakups as an interception, which he very well could have, we're looking at a 2-2 Falcons team.
That's pretty much true.
This is the worst part of the NFL because Atlanta, say like the Braves, big Braves fan here. The Braves played like elephant dung for 3 months. But it doesn't matter because they were on a 105 win pace in the last third of the season. If the Falcons, the Falcons have played reasonably good football the last 8 quarters. It was an ugly game against the Giants, but they won the ugly game. They're 1-3 now. They're playing the Jets. We could have had a 3-2 Falcons team heading into their bye rather than a potentially 1-4 Falcons team. I know people are going to get amped up about the Jets, but a lot of it is. You guys remember the Browns lost to the Jets last year. Really good Browns team. Didn't have their receivers. And the Jets took advantage. And if you take away the wide receivers, you make the quarterback worse. And then the Jets have a really good run defense. Boom. I had 2 Jets front 7 guys in my team of the week. Like I probably could have had a third, So I think the Jets are more likely to lose their next 3 than the Jets are to win their next 3. I'm going to go habanero here. Thank you, Frankie.
All
right. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program as my U Stadium app refreshes. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out like it's been doing today. That's okay. Here we are. Take number, I don't know what number we're on. Vince Wilfork's gut says Bill Belichick's career will be tarnished.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a Scotch bonnet. I think that his legacy has already been cemented.
I think he's.
It doesn't matter how many rings Tom Brady wins.
I'm not going to jump right now and say greatest coach of all time, but I think he's definitely up there for sure.
I will say that Belichick is
the
best coach ever. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
that's
down.
Perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair.
Yeah. What the things he's done in the salary cap era. We can talk about what he's done as a GM. He hasn't been a very good GM, especially the last 10 years or so. And I do think that Brady was more integral to the Super Bowl 4, 5, 6. But first 3, Belichick the GM, Belichick the coach, having the same coach. We talked about it with Miami, having one guy do everything. When it works, it really works. So I think Belichick is unequivocally the best head coach ever. You can bring up guys from the past, the Landry, Noel, Shula, Lombardi, or even some current guys. I get it, but it's an unprecedented level of success in the salary cap era. 5 of the 6 Super Bowls were won in a 32-team league. One was in a 31-team league. Vince Lombardi had all of his success. He wasn't playing 31 other teams. He didn't have a salary cap to deal with. He had like 8 Hall of Famers at one time. The Patriots, as of right, actually the current Patriots, I was in the group chat arguing this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more former Patriots that are future Hall of Famers than the Patriots themselves have. The Patriots have one easy, no doubt, slam dunk Hall of Famer to me, Matthew Slater. No one else on the team is not really any close. Like McCourty is like an all-time great playoff guy, but it's like that Edelman argument that, okay, he's cool in the playoffs. What did he do in the regular season? No all pros. Stefan Gilmore, I don't think his prime was long enough. If we're talking the greatest corners ever, it's Revis and the Woodsons and Dion. I'm not even sure if Richard Sherman's a slam dunk, easy, no doubt Hall of Famer, and he's also on the Bucs. So it's easy pick Belichick as the greatest coach ever. So thank you for the comment, Mr. Vince
Bottom line, I think we can all, whether or not we jump out to greatest coach of all time, I think we can at least agree with the fact that his legacy has not been ruined or tarnished.
I agree.
Up to this point, despite everything he's been through.
Right. So I would say this is a Pepper X take. He's the number 1 coach ever. Nick L., friend of the show, says the Cardinals go 15-2.
There is a possibility.
Yeah,
I think there is a very real possibility. It's going to be. We saw how tough it was firsthand, or at least I saw firsthand how tough it was to try to get anything going against them. I'll probably rant about that game later once we get to it. But
yeah, we'll touch on it later.
Bottom line, the Cardinals are a scary team. I think there is a possibility they could go 15-2. It's going to be tough because the NFC West is a gauntlet, but there's a chance. I think there's a real chance. I'm going to go Tabasco here.
Okay. I have a question for you guys. The Cardinals last started 4-0 in 2012. Guess what their final record was that season?
Wasn't it like 5-11?
Yep, 5-11. They won their first 4, then lost 11 of their next 12. I don't think that's going to happen this year.
That's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this year.
They're going to finish at least 7-10.
Yeah, I think even if all the walls came crumbling down, the Cardinals are a little fluky 4-0 to me. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I think they're a little. This is 4-0 is the
point that I was
fluky.
going to bring up because they'd be 3-1 if the Vikings don't miss the kick. Right.
So I put them at number 1 in my power rankings, and I'm okay with doing that because Kyler's playing at a high level, and they just massacred the Rams. They silenced the Lambs there, Bucko.
It wasn't close. But it wasn't close. Well, again, we'll get to it later, but it wasn't close.
So I'll roll through the schedule. They have Niners next week, at Browns, Texans, Packers, at Niners, Panthers, at Seahawks, bye, at Chicago, Rams, at Detroit, Colts, at Cowboys, Seahawks. They're going to lose multiple games, but I can't tell you which ones they're going to lose. This is a goofy team. They dominated on all facets Sunday afternoon. It was quite impressive. And when
it wasn't Kyler the only game they've done it in either.
Right. When Kyler doesn't turn the ball over, it is a special sight. They've clapped Tennessee, who I think is a good team, and the Rams, who I think are a top 5 team. They squeaked out a win over Minnesota. Kyler was great. They didn't play particularly well against Jacksonville, but hey, it's Jacksonville. So with that, 15-2, I think, is a fair bar. I think it's a little out there, though. I would say Cayenne, Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, it is a little bit high, but I mean, you never know. With the way if they play the way they played yesterday or last week, then they're gonna probably have a better shot at it. But
absolutely. So let's see. We have a couple more hot takes. This has gone on a little bit longer. This is from AV22. I know you're always wanting your hot take. Mr. Aroldis Chapman gets walked off on tonight. Henry, you first.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I will. Okay. Oh, good night's quote. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think there's I don't know. I have money on the Red Sox because of the underdog at home. I think they win without needing a walk-off. I think Ottavino, he's a closer. Ottavino comes in, or one of their awesome bullpen guys comes in and locks the door. Right, I'm going to say it right now. Red Sox 4, Yankees 2. Cole pitches well, but scatters a run or two. Bad infield defense from Gleyber Torres. So I'm going to say 2 runs, 1 unearned, and then New York's bullpen allows a couple runs late. Boston wins 4-2.
I'm going to take your words and I'm going to turn them right around. Yanks have always been great against Eovaldi. Adam Ottavino is a friend of the Yanks. Always blows the lead. Yanks win big. Torres makes the web gem.
Okay. Jack, split the difference.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know if you're going to get a split from me.
Well, pick one. Boston or New York?
I'm going to go New York.
Okay.
It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go New York.
So my Venmo is Mr. Splashman 19. So when you guys get it wrong, be raking in the moolah. Anyways, last hot take. Then we're going to go into our main segments. Fella, friend of the show, says Cordero Patterson is the offensive player of the year so far. How do we feel?
I love this take, actually. I think he has been balling out as of late. Honestly, like he had a 3-touchdown game last week. And like he's been doing his thing
Washington
on return. Like this guy's a Hall of Famer for sure. And
he's another former Patriot that's a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. He's had a crazy career. He's been on a lot of teams, but I think the way he played definitely shows he's got what it takes. So I like this take. I'm gonna go. Go with this.
So I'm agree with you because I like that he's just bounced around. Now he's finally got a shot.
I'm gonna go Tabasco probably because I mean there's definitely a lot more names in there that'll be thrown in there over the course of the year for sure. As of right now, though, he's got a real shot at it. If the season were to end,
you know,
I think we do have to touch on. Oh, go ahead, Henry.
No, sorry, I'm just gonna do my thing. But when I was making this graphic, I wanted to put in more peppers. I didn't have room. I believe in between cayenne and Tabasco was the spice that you put in the really spicy Asian noodle soups. I'm gonna put my take right there.
Okay.
I think that could happen, but I'm not sure.
As of right now, I'm cool with it. I do want to throw out Derrick Henry has 500 rushing yards.
He does.
That's absurd.
By week 4.
Deebo Samuel has 490 receiving yards. We can discuss the validity of those because 76 of them came on one busted coverage, which is comical from Jamal Adams, but that's beside the point. Mm-hmm. And also, Tyreek Hill has had 2 games with 185 yards. He's been ridiculous. Those games he's been ridiculous. Week 2, week 3 wasn't very good, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with having him in my all-pro team. If I did a flex spot, I do 3 wide receiver spots, but if you do a flex spot, I'm cool with it. Like if you have, I don't know, Henry, Hill, Adams, Kelsey, and then Cordero Patterson, I'm absolutely cool with that because he's been terrific and he's a slam dunk, easy, no doubt, no-brainer Hall of Famer. That rhymed, but
absolutely no-brainer Hall of Famer. I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. So there's our hot takes. Beautiful.
Yes.
Beat. Okay. Anyway, so while we transition to the next topic, I wanted to talk. We've been talking about a lot of Hall of Famers. Who's a guy in the NFL right now that you would advocate for making the Hall of Fame, but he isn't like a no doubt shoo-in guy? So we're not talking about the Bradys or the Bens or Russell Wilsons of the world. Who's a guy that if they retired today, you could make a solid case that they belong in the Hall of Fame?
Very good question.
Good question.
I agree. But I apologize for catching you off guard, but I'll go first then.
Something I should have thought about.
Yeah. My sincerest of apologies. I want to throw it up to Cameron Jordan, edge for the New Orleans Saints. He has not missed a game in his NFL career. He's headed right now 164 out of 164. So he's played every game from 2011 to 2020. He's played the first 4 this year. I think isn't his dad in the Hall of Fame? I need to fact check that. But I know his dad played in the NFL. I don't know if he's necessarily a Hall of Famer. But anyways, he's played every game for 11 years now. He has been a menace. He was a former All-Pro. He had 15.5 sacks in the season. Let's see. Oh, no. His dad was not a Hall of Famer, but he was a solid tight end.
He was inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor.
Okay, that works. So as heading into the season, he had 94.5 sacks, 11 forced fumbles. like I'm not saying 94.5 sacks is like elite or anything, but he's going to get to 100 this year. And I think you have to start having that conversation of he was really, really good for a long time. He never missed games. He's always kind of there. He has a bevy of Pro Bowl nods. He's an awesome all-around player. And he may be a team of the decade. You know, he's a guy that I think 164 for under 64, that matters to me. You know, he's a 6-time Pro Bowler, was an All-Pro in 2017. He had a 15.5 sack season, like I mentioned, in 2019. And I think he's on the board of guys you have to think about. He might be in the Hall of Fame in the modern era. You know, he's officially he's 8th active in sacks, top 50 all time. He's going to play this year. And he's going to move further and further up that list. So give me Cameron Jordan as my no doubt, or as my guy I would advocate for making Hall of Fame.
I've got 2 answers.
Okay.
I'll go with the one that's the more plausible one first, and that's J.J. Watt. He's just dominant.
Oh, yeah. J.J. Watt's a really good answer, actually.
10 years, over 100 career snacks. Just really just a good player all around. Good guy.
Stuck on the Texans.
Houston.
Right.
For a long time.
Gave back.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely. I think he's probably closer. I think that's a pretty safe answer.
Yeah, that's why I made another one.
All right, give it.
My other one is Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah. Thumbs up. Agree.
Derrick Henry.
Everyone agrees with that, but I agree 1,000%.
Okay.
No,
yeah, I don't know.
He's a guy that I would consider, like, I'm pretty big in the Cameron Jordan camp, but I would say Derrick Henry's not a guarantee, but he should be.
Yeah, that's the strongest runner I think the world has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even
like he's a modern.
I'd argue he's already better than Jerome Bettis in terms of angry running.
Yeah. I was way. Yeah, I don't. I think he's the best running back in Titans history. I think he's right there with Earl Campbell. I think he's a significantly better player than Eddie George was. Sorry, Eddie. But yeah, I'm down with both of your guys. Jack, hit me.
Would you say Jalen Ramsey? There's kind of a little bias in there, but I feel like it's a fun one because his rookie year, or like his time at Jacksonville, like we knew he was up there as a better cornerback, but he hasn't really shown it off until being a part of the Rams.
He was an All-Pro in 2017.
He was. Isn't he like a 4-time Pro Bowler too, I think? Something like that.
I want to say he's a 3-time Pro Bowl.
3 times sounds more accurate.
Yeah, I would say that. And I think he'd certainly be in my Pro Bowl guys right now.
Yeah.
All-Pro, maybe not, but it's 4 weeks. A 4-time Pro Bowler. He's made the last 4, and he's a 2-time All-Pro.
We need to see more of him playing at this level throughout his time with the Rams, and like maybe another team in the future too, if he leaves after his 5-year deal. Hopefully not, but
he is in his age 27 season. We throw that out there. Age 27 season. According to Pro Football Reference, he is number 119 on the defensive back monitor. I think I don't buy that, but he doesn't.
I don't buy that.
So. Yeah, he's better than that, but I do want to throw it out there. He has as many All-Pros as Mel Blount. He has as many All-Pros as Mike Haynes. He has as many All-Pros as Ken Houston. Those guys are all easy Hall of Famers. So I do want to – you do have to kind of get up there, like 5 or 6 All-Pro appearances. I think he can do it 100%.
He can do it.
But – like, you need to differentiate. Like, Richard Sherman is not a guaranteed Hall of Famer, and he has 3 All-Pros. You know, Darrell Green was only 1-time All-Pro, but he made it in on longevity. Earl Thomas, I don't know if he's a slam dunk, easy Hall of Famer, and he's only a 3-time All-Pro. So Ty Law was a 2-time All-Pro, but he was on 3 title-winning teams. So I think he has that elite talent, but I do think you need, like, Charles Woodson had 3 All-Pros. Champ Bailey had 3. Willie Brown had 5. You know, so just get that extra.
Get a couple more All-Pro seasons. Get a ring, and then there's a real shot. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Then you have more of like.
Because you're competing with guys that have 4, 5, 6 All-Pro appearances. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Dion had 6. Rod Woodson had 6.
I think I'll put it this way. He's on a Hall of Fame pace if he keeps playing the way he is.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So,
I don't know what I said PFF. What did I say PFF with? Did any of us mention PFF?
You mean, I think you might have.
Or maybe PFF? You said pro. I mean, I still agree, Austin. Don't get me wrong. But,
yeah.
To an extent, at least. But
okay, I don't recall. Maybe I said I don't know.
Pro Football
Patterson
Reference.
Patterson had a 90 PFF. It was Pro Football Reference. Sorry, but the thing with Pro Football Reference is that it is very, very much not an eye test thing. It's very much a statistical thing. So like number of All Pros, number of Pro Bowls, your stats, stuff like that you might care about for the Hall of Fame. But like talent wise, Darrelle Revis is an easy slam dunk, no doubt Hall of Famer. But his numbers are the same. But there might be I don't know, say Sean Taylor. He didn't have the greatest statistical resume, but if you played in the mid 2000s, you might say he's the best safety, right? So it takes all of the subjectivity out. So I will say that the Pro Football Reference Hall of Fame monitor isn't great for modern, at least for modern players. It's not great, but oh well. So we got a little sidetracked there. So let's get in week 4. Jack, you want to start us off with?
We got
the Rams.
We're just gonna jump right into the Rams. It was not a great game against the Cardinals. I thought the Rams going into this would have a little more to offer. They look like they were scary last week against the Bucs. And then a couple mistakes were made early on. Cooper Kupp had an uncharacteristic drop on 3rd down and short. He was wide open and just dropped the football. And then Stafford threw a pick. Sony Michel fumbled, and all the mistakes kind of just threw the Rams game plan off. And at that point, Sean McVay was kind of scrambling a little bit with his play calling. He was calling some deep shots when maybe he shouldn't have. He was abandoning the run game for a little while when the run game with Henderson was relatively working. I think if there's any bright spots you can take away from this game, if you're the Rams, Darrell Henderson went off. He looked good. Even though he's coming off of an injury, I feel like he looked fantastic. Outcoached, but pretty much. My point that I've been saying on like Twitter all morning, once the Rams made mistakes, Sean McVay panicked. The game plan got disrupted, and he couldn't make the adjustments that they needed to. And the Cardinals are a very good team at picking you apart, finding out your little mistakes, and exposing your team off of that. Kyler Murray just can't be contained. It's plain and simple. Which you wouldn't think after the first drive. The Cardinals' first drive ended with Murray getting sacked, and it was the most disrespectful sack I've ever seen. He just shoved him to the ground after he'd already tripped. But yeah, other than that, I mean, he's crazy. The Cardinals have a lot of strong receivers as well, outside of DeAndre Hopkins. Who is the running back too? Edmonds, I think. He was having
Edmonds
a really good
Connor.
game. Yeah, they were both
Henry,
playing
what
really
say
well.
you?
Well, I believe I made on 8-9 locks. My lock is that when my preseason locks is that the Cardinals would make the playoffs. I think this win just cemented that fact. I think they are the best team. I know all. I'm the Oracle of Delphi. Delphi? I don't remember.
Whatever it is.
Either way. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the Oracle. I know everything. And I can tell you the Cardinals are the best team this NFL has seen so far. I'm not sure if that's going to hold up, but so far, what I've seen from Kyler Murray, what I've seen from Cliff Kingsbury, what I've seen from that offensive attack, they're the best team in the NFL.
Well, like we mentioned too, they are still a little bit of a. I don't want to say like fluky, but for lack of a better word, like again, if the Vikings don't miss the kick, the Cardinals are 3-1.
All right, yeah, that's
and then
true.
they rolled over the Jaguars relatively, but
they whacked Tennessee.
It's the Jaguars, and I mean they were trailing against the Jaguars. They allowed that long punt return, so I mean, or kick return. I don't know.
It was missed field goal return.
They are not a bad team. I'll put it to you this way: the Cardinals by no means are a bad team. It's just it feels a little Mickey Mouse. I'll say, but therefore,
okay.
Sort of inconsistent. Yeah. I can see some inconsistencies among their play.
That's fair.
But at the end of the day, they're still 4-0. They're still a strong football team. They have what it takes to win the division. I said every NFC West team is going to make the playoffs this year. and the Cardinals were my one team I needed to like see it to believe it, and so far I've seen it.
Yeah, 100%. I want to touch on the defense. J.J. Watt has been playing at a really good level, affecting the run game, getting to the quarterback. He's been great. Budda Baker has been his usual solid self. Byron Murphy is a potential all-pro guy. He had another interception.
Byron Murphy was ridiculous. He was hurt for a little bit, but he played.
He's another guy that isn't. To me, he's in the all-pro conversation at corner, and corner and safety are totally volatile. And like Justin Simmons was my all-pro safety 1 heading into the week, and he got eaten alive by Mark Andrews. So things change, but Murphy's been unreal. Isaiah Simmons doesn't look like a rookie anymore, so that's encouraging to see. Like I mentioned, J.J. Watt he's not necessarily prime J.J. Watt, but he's like a unique, like a evolved version of J.J. Watt that he's still as dominant as ever against the run, and he picks and chooses his spots as a pass rusher, and he's so good. I think he had 5 pressures against the Rams, and he really terrorized that interior defensive line. So, and I want to point out, this wasn't the best game I've seen from Kyler, but what he did on third down, what he did when it mattered, money downs.
Third down and the third down and 16, I think there was a point where the Rams let him convert.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was a third down and 14 as well.
Yeah, the things that Kyler can do, it's very – I'm going to compare it to we'll touch on this game later, but Bills Chiefs in the playoffs last year, Mahomes wasn't doing usual Mahomes things, but he was so good at like quarterback that it wasn't the normal Mahomes, but it was, oh yeah, this is special. And he wasn't even like he wasn't launching balls. Kyler didn't have a crazy game, but
this is
awesome.
This is exactly what the announcers were saying, and I totally agreed for the most part. It's like it's not that the Rams were playing bad, but Kyler Murray is just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you defend against that?
Yeah. And it's not even like highlight things. It's not even like, say, you can draw the comparison with Lamar Jackson the last few weeks. There's not many highlights in there. Like, he's not juking guys out of their shoes. He's not having like a 75-yard rushing touchdown. But it's just the down-to-down consistency. Kyler got it. Kyler has down-to-down consistency. I can finally say it. After years of being a quote-unquote Kyler hater, I would go on air and say he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen, but he hasn't put it together. He has put it together. He played a perfect, maybe not perfect, but an awesome game against the Rams, and it's going to go unnoticed. Well, they did win, but the consistency, I think, is going to go unnoticed. Oh, Kyler had another great. No, Kyler had a special game. It is a game that very few quarterbacks have, that just the control, the wherewithal, the kind of like the swagger to say, I am so good at football that I don't have to be God. I think Justin Herbert is getting to this point that Herbert is so good at football. He knows he's so good at football, and he tries to be Justin Herbert. Kyler's like, okay, I can just sit back, relax, and have a really strong game, and he was awesome for 60 minutes.
I completely agree.
So hopefully the Rams learned their lesson. This is not the same Cardinals team that McVay's faced before. On the bright side, I'm actually sort of happy about the short turnaround going into Thursday night against the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. I understand it looks tough. You just lost. You just got beaten pretty badly. And now you got a road game on Thursday, short turnaround.
Against a divisional opponent.
Against the divisional opponent. I would be more than ready, though, mentally, to get back out on the field and bounce back, respond, and the Rams can absolutely do it. And especially when Shane Waldron has pretty much been running a carbon copy of the Rams offense in Seattle. I feel like that could help us out a little bit. There could be some interesting things that go on in this game. They're going to be running into an angry Aaron Donald too. Aaron Donald's going to want some sacks on Russell Wilson like he usually gets. So
Aaron Donald did play pretty well. It wasn't a normal Aaron Donald game, but Aaron Donald is so good that his average game kind of just like, oh, Aaron Donald didn't have 17 pressures this week? Huh, that's weird. Okay. Henry, is there a game you want to touch on?
A game I want to touch on. I
should know the answer.
Question.
We should know the answer.
You have the Jets game, but I think we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
That was a fun one.
It was.
But I want to throw it back to the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills.
Oh no!
We're
gonna relive this tragedy in Houston.
I have a stat that I want to open with before you get into anything. PFF, right? We all love to hate them, kind of. This is one that I think hits. There were 6 linebackers that had an 85.0 grade on Sunday. 6 of them. One of them was Bobby Okereke, or I think the broadcast called him Okereke, something like that. Malik Harrison of the Ravens, and 4 Buffalo Bills. Davis Mills single-handedly made Tremaine Edmonds, who I think is one of the worst good players in the NFL. He's a multiple-time Pro Bowler. I don't think he deserved either of them. He single-handedly turned Tremaine Edmonds into prime Ray Lewis. Matt Milano was already having a good season, was already in my All-Pro team. He turned him into prime Dick Butkus. Tyler Matkevich, Temple legend, only played a couple of snaps. Davis Mills turned him into prime Brian Urlacher. And I'm blanking on the fourth linebacker because I legit never heard of the guy. Oh, AJ Klein. He turned AJ Klein into prime Zach Thomas. I've never seen this. 4 of the top 6 graded linebackers were Buffalo Bills. Davis Mills was a catastrophe. Well, I can touch on Davis Mills in a second, but holy.
Remember when we were all predicting that since it was he was coming in to fill in for Tyrod. And then we thought it was going to be Davis Mills' breakout season. Not really.
No, I think I might have been wrong on that one. That was a mess. That was beyond messes could be. This was the Houston Texans that the pundits expected the Houston Texans to be. This wasn't the fluke that happened the first 2 weeks of the season. This was in full form.
They got pounded. They legitimately, objectively, subjectively, whatever kind of lee you want to throw on this, they got pounded by Buffalo. Yes. And perhaps my biggest takeaway, Buffalo didn't even play that well. Like Buffalo's offense didn't look good for most of that game. They were just always in the red zone. So it didn't matter. Like Allen could be have 2 good throws and they would have won by 50. Like it was a really weird game. Allen had a pick early. I know it was raining in Orchard Park, but Allen didn't look very good, but they won by 40. And you got to think they've now won 2 games, 2 of the last 3 games by 35-0 plus shutouts. But they haven't played well in either of them. I thought they were awesome. I thought Allen was my team of the week quarterback. Allen flew up my quarterback ranking. Allen was unreal against Washington. But I don't know if I need to buy my Bills stock because they blew up Miami, who missed Tua for half the game, and they blew up Houston, who we all thought would be the worst team in football.
Right.
Sure. They didn't look good. It's not a Carolina thing. Carolina looked awesome against the teams they beat. Denver looked awesome against the teams they beat.
Yeah, Buffalo, I think it's kind of where it differentiates a little bit because I feel like when you're playing against a team like the Texans, you're obviously supposed to crush them when it was 40-0, but you should look good while doing it. In the games that you are supposed to win, not only should you win, you should be blowing this team out of the water. I don't think the Bills really blew them out of the water.
Yeah, you look at the final score and you'll say, that's a 40-point win. But it's one of the dumb 40-point wins. These happen from time to time that field position goes totally askew or one side of the ball. The Bills defense is legit. Now it's the Houston and Miami, like I said, but the defense is actually playing well. The defense has a ton of guys that grade out well. If you watch the film, all of them pop. Everyone on the defense has popped in the last 3 weeks. But offensively, you're thinking, what's going on here? What's going on? Stefan Diggs isn't Stefan Diggs. Josh Allen, I don't think is playing like an MVP caliber quarterback that he was last year. And say what you will about 3-0, say what you will about they have a top 5 point differential in the first 4 games since the merger. I get all those things, but how much of that is everything going right for them defensively? And just kind of, I don't want to say lucking into points, but we've seen bad offensive performances end up with 30 points, right? Mm-hmm. They have not had a pick 6 or a scoop and score. So they've scored legitimate offensive points, but if you're starting, I watched Red Zone all day Sunday. I don't think I saw Houston cross midfield. I don't think I saw Buffalo with more than 2 or 3 plays that weren't in the Houston red zone. Now, granted, that's how red zone works, but it felt like every 5 minutes, Buffalo had the ball in the Houston red zone.
Right.
What am I supposed to do with that?
That was just an absolute slaughter.
That was
worse.
It was an embarrassment.
Yeah, it could. If Josh Allen played halfway decent, that game's 64-0. Mm-hmm. That's how scary it is. The Bills are this sleeping giant, and you want to give Allen some benefit of the doubt. I think he earned some benefit of the doubt with it how he played last year. But right now, I don't trust him to go in and beat Kansas City. Let me rephrase. I don't trust Josh Allen to go in and beat Kansas City. If the Bills win, as of right now, I trust the defense more than Josh Allen, which I did not think I would be saying 2 months ago. I was super low on the defense, but nope, Allen's going to repeat. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. Allen hasn't done any of that. I have him at 9 in my quarterback rankings, and I'm really trying to keep him at 9 because I don't want to put Joe Burrow over him, and then Allen goes Super Saiyan and goes for 75 touchdowns on Sunday night. Like I'm aware that I have a tiny bit of control in this, and I'm just going to keep Allen at 9, and Allen's going to have to fall off real hard to fall lower than 9. What a stupid game. 40-0, and they don't look good.
No.
The offense doesn't look good. How do you
interesting.
Jack, is there a game you want to touch on?
I think we should just move on to the Jets.
Okay.
That's my favorite part.
I know you've been waiting to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Jets have won a football game. They've got the W.
Hey, we got the thumbnail.
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
What a Henry
weird game that was.
Go in.
Yes. The Jets. My sanity has been restored. I mean, in the first half, I was at the game. So I was at the game, and the first half, he threw a pick, and the offense was stagnant. It was just, okay, fire Mike LaFleur, play Denzel Mims, blah, blah, blah. Corey Davis dropped more passes. Same old, same old. Then the defense kept them in the game. Defense has been incredible. Quincy and Quentin Williams, first pair of brothers ever to record a sack in the history of the National Football League in the same game. Combined for 19 tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 pass deflections or something of that sort. I mean, that's absurd. That was a factor. The cornerbacks played well. Wilson cooled down, came out after the half, throwing daggers. No, Robert Saleh wanted to play boring football. He didn't play boring football at all. No. He pointed. He audibled Corey Davis to go downfield. He pointed at him, went, and it just chucked it. 50, 60 yards in the air, touchdown.
That was a nuke.
Take the lead. That, everyone went nuts. I mean, I was jumping up and down and like hugging this drunk stranger in the row behind me. I was completely sober, and I was doing that. So you can imagine how the emotions were there. And then it just kept building up as the game went on. My voice got so hoarse from yelling at everyone. I remember at one point in time, the emotions got the better of me, and I said, F you, Jeremy McNichols, to absolutely no one in particular.
Boise State legend, Jeremy McNichols.
Yes.
What a name.
He's good. He's just quick. He's agile. He can get around the bend in no time. And that really killed the Jets' screen games. But just electric MetLife Stadium. It was empty. There was like no one there in terms of Jets games. Compared to the Patriots' mess, there was maybe 25% less people. I mean, this crowd was louder than the Patriots game.
To be expected.
Well, yes. I mean, at the beginning of the Patriots game, the full crowd at the home opener was quieter than this crowd at MetLife. I mean, it was electric.
I mean, when the Jets have a chance to get a meaningful win, I feel like this is a more meaningful win than last year's, because obviously last year's, it affected the draft, sure, but like at that point the players are just playing for pride. statistically, when the team still has a chance to make they technically could make the postseason. They could still win a couple more games. I'm just saying.
Hot take a meter back up.
Hot take a meter through the
Jets
roof.
make the playoffs.
FRX. But yeah, no, it is a meaningful. It's a more meaningful win. I think the players enjoy it. They don't have to sit 0 whatever for most of the year. They have something to build on as well. I think it feels fantastic.
Yeah, it was great to see. I watched it back, and I think I touched on this earlier that Tennessee lost in a lot of ways. People are going to say, "Oh, the Jets beat the Titans. Okay, the Titans suck now." No. The Titans were missing key pieces, and the Jets played very well. And I do want to point out one of the funniest little notes. Everyone on the Titans' offensive line sucked besides Roger Saffold.
And then he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. He was like this. He was, I'm going to say Quentin Nelson as an example. He was Quentin Nelson. The other 4 guys were turnstiles. John Franklin Myers, he made my team of the week. 9 pressures, a lot of which came against David Questenberry. 11 pressures. Now, granted, they did play 100 snaps, but 100 pressures.
That's still 10% of snaps.
Yeah, 11 pressures. This is a starting right tackle in the NFL, being a turnstile by John Franklin Myers. He was unreal.
One of the best defensive tackles in the league, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, he was great. He and Quinnen were great.
Myers.
Yeah, exactly. So Taylor Lewan had another questionable game. Nate Davis. So Saffold allowed 0 pressures and had a pass blocking grade in the 80s, and he was awesome on film. Nate Davis allowed 8 pressures. Like it's just kind of like a Saffold is just like sitting there, like what the heck is going on? And I think someone on my end, or maybe the PFF team of the week, is like, how do you have a Titan make the team? How do you have a Titans offensive lineman make the team of the week? It just happens. I swear. Yeah. Like these teams have terrible games, and then like one guy has like a 90 grade, and you go back and watch. Saffold has nothing to do here.
Absolutely. There's a stat that I want you guys to let this sink in. So go get your plumbing tools. Let that sink in. With fans in the stands, I tweeted this and I was wrong. I thought it was, I omitted this detail, but with fans in the stands, that was the first Jets touchdown at MetLife Stadium in 651 days.
That's a long time.
Yes. It's absurd.
You mentioned the crowd. I was just about to mention how freaking awesome is it that we have fans back.
At Airford Park. What game was it, Henry?
Oh, they played the Pittsburgh Steelers December 2nd.
Yeah.
December 2nd, 2019. Beat them 16-10.
Anyway.
Big dubs. Shout out to Sam Darnold.
The fans being back at games is just fantastic. This is yet another example. Like, imagine this happened in a completely empty stadium. It wouldn't have felt the same.
I feel like jumping around and breaking my furniture. That's like not as fun as.
I think Tennessee probably.
I've had that happen to me before when in 2017 Jared Goff threw a bomb to Robert Woods for a 94-yard touchdown. I jumped up, went crazy, hit my knee on the coffee table.
No fun.
That was not fun. But the touchdown-wise, the celebration wasn't. But you get it.
I don't want to sell all my Titans stock because they're getting Julio back, they're getting AJ Brown back.
This
but
is
good
true.
Win from the Jets. They smelled blood in the water and they said, "Okay, we're gonna go take that blood right now."
Yeah, we're gonna drink your blood.
Awesome defensively. Better than biting kneecaps? Question mark.
Sound like Dan Campbell there.
So the New York Jets are vampires and the Detroit Lions are kneecap eaters.
Yes.
So we've got so far in this NFL world.
Big props to the New York Jets. Huge win on Sunday. I'll be on the Play Like a Jets show. Or I'll be producing the Play Like a Jets show tomorrow. I don't know what time, but tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, little transition. We will be doing some Major League Baseball content tomorrow.
Yeah, the hats. We're going to be on there.
They've got the hats. Mine's over there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get a couple guys from the baseball group chat on. They can talk about more teams than just the Braves. Yeah, Yankees. The Yankees are going to lose tonight, but sorry, Henry.
Not happening.
He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear it.
That tomorrow. I'll just let you know in advance. I will not be on this baseball show if the Yankees lose. I'll be sitting Shiva.
It happens. Well, can you at least make the thumbnail?
Oh yeah, I can make the thumbnail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
And I won't make it be like Devers or something. Just
I'm not doing faces though. Unless you want me to do like the what's it called, the surrender cobra.
Oh, the surrender. That would be a good one. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't make you do a Red Sox players like the segment.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think making you do Brady was hard enough.
I might have to. I would have had to cancel H&R Locks or something. That would be just.
Wow.
Oh my heart.
Yeah, for real. All right. Speaking of Brady.
Speaking of thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Move into the thumbnail of today's.
Speaking of segments. Speaking of segues. Was this a football game or was this like a movie?
Felt like a movie. It really felt. Sunday Night Football actually on the broadcast did not even open with the usual like Carrie Underwood song and all that stuff. They just cut straight to the intros, like the players walking out of the field, showing Tom Brady and the Buccaneers walking out. Brady for the first time out of the visitors' locker room onto the field at Gillette Stadium.
You know, I can't say anything about this because I didn't watch it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
that's a shame.
I had no care. I hate the Pats.
I understand.
I kind of like Tom Brady now, but I hate Tom Brady. And
I understand.
I hate
Tom Brady too
because I am an old person.
I hate Pats Tom Brady. I think Bucs Tom Brady is a totally separate entity.
I agree.
I agree with this.
I don't think they're the same quarterback. They are fundamentally different quarterbacks. They are fundamentally different at everything. So
Bucs Brady's more fun.
Yeah,
he looks like he's having a lot more fun in Tampa.
Yeah. He doesn't have to go to awkward Halloween parties with Bill Belichick anymore.
Except for that one picture of him with the cold. That was ugh.
Yeah. Anyways, the football was, I think, secondary, and I do want to point out, I thought Mac Jones was the better quarterback for 55 minutes.
I can agree with this. Mac Jones, he led some pretty solid drives in that game.
And then at the end, he self-destructed. He had he didn't end up throwing a pick, but he had one that he was rolling out to the right. He fired it back across his body. It's just think Sam Darnold against the Lions, his first ever throw. Think the Favre interception in 2009. Sorry to harp on bad memories, Jets fans, although he was a Viking at the time. Just think of all the bad off-platform, back across your body throws that everyone misses besides Mahomes, and he did that. And the Tampa Bay linebacker, who I'm totally blanking on at the moment, doesn't catch it. That would have been a game steal. That would have been one of the dumbest interceptions I've ever seen. But he didn't catch it. Patriots kick a field goal. They go up 17-16. Brady drives all the way down and then gets robbed on back-to-back throws to Antonio Brown. This was so funny to me that I said earlier in the game, oh, AB is back. Brady's not hitting him. AB is back. And then AB gets open, but doesn't track the deep ball well. And it lands. It would have been a perfect back shoulder throw, but he doesn't look. And then the second one hits him in the hands, falling out of the back of the end zone, kind of like Randy Moss, 1998 against Dallas. It just doesn't catch it. It's just football is weird, man. When the Brady sucked for 3 quarters, Antonio Brown was killing folks with his routes. And then when Brady is on, Antonio Brown forgets that his name is freaking Antonio Brown. And it was weird. And then I thought Belichick was a coward to kick a field goal on 4th and 3. A 56-yard field goal in the rain, in a monsoon. And also, just so you know, Tom Brady, if you make the field goal, big if, because Nick Folk is 1, trying to hit from 56 yards. 2, it's in the rain. 3, he has a hurt plant leg, something like that. They mentioned it on the broadcast. You get the ball back to Tom Brady with 50 seconds left. We know how this movie ends. Belichick should know how this movie ends. It was on like a level of like coaching ineptitude. Why don't you trust your quarterback to get 3 yards? I know your running game had negative yards. I want to touch on that later. But if you don't trust Mac Jones to get 3 yards against a defense that's missing its number 1 corner, its number 2 corner, and its number 3 corner, and all of a sudden its number 1 corner is Richard Sherman, who has played 5 days in the system. I thought it was if it was any other coach than Belichick, I think it's a fireable offense. That was a objectively stupid call. You could call it in the moment. It doesn't even matter if Folk makes it. I would be saying the same thing if Folk made the field goal and Brady threw a pick the next play and the Patriots won. It was asinine. It was stupid. It was egregious. It was an F. Bill Belichick, the rest of the game doesn't matter. He gets an F on that play. He called an unbelievable game, but he screwed it up. He lost the game. It wasn't Folk. It wasn't Mac Jones. It wasn't the defense. Bill Belichick lost the game for the Patriots.
We could probably go on about that for a while, but I think what you said, what we talked about at the beginning, I think football felt really secondary in this one. Like, yeah, that was a horrible mistake, but I think a lot of people obviously were focused on the more like the emotional impact of the game because it's, first of all, it's just ridiculous the fact that Tom Brady has been playing for as long as he has been. And then he's been on the same team his entire career until last season, when he switched uniforms for the first time ever, and it was just so weird to see. And then he goes and wins a Super Bowl, and then now he's making a return, and it's just like the emotions are like definitely high for Patriots fans, and I guess for Brady too, even though he won't show it. Maybe Belichick definitely won't show it.
I think they had a 20-minute chat in the visitor locker room.
They did.
So I want to give a shout out to Patriot fans real quick. They played Tom Brady so hard. They were serenading him early.
Cheers
before the game started.
Cheers, go crazy. The game starts. Patriots go 3 and out. Brady walks onto the field. Boo. It was the whole entire
That was beautiful.
Listen,
so, big props, Patriots fans. I've given you crap for the last 20 years because I hate you, but big dub in my book.
That was
big dub in my book. Also, want to touch on.
I will say, I don't think they actually hate Tom Brady, but they want the Patriots to win the game. At the end of the day, they still want their team to win the game. So it is what it is.
Henry, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel that you had more rushing yards than an NFL team did on Sunday?
Me, myself, or me, the Jets?
No, you yourself.
You yourself. All three of us, actually, technically.
Yes.
Well, I think we're first ballot Hall of Famers.
I agree. Jack, how do you feel that you had more rushing yards than the New England Patriots did Sunday night?
Fantastic. I've done more than the Patriots did. That's enough for me.
This isn't quite as good as the Reggie Bush stat that there was one year that he had -3 rushing yards, or when Kadarius Toney had negative receiving yards this season. But the New England Patriots had an NFL game, 8 carries, -1 yard. Their running backs combined for -4 yards.
Why didn't they run it more? Why is it all pass?
It was because they couldn't run the football. There was a fumble on a screen. JJ Taylor had a fumble. I don't know. I think maybe if Trent Brown's there, they probably run the ball a little bit more. But it was just I thought it was a strange game from Belichick. And now you forced Mac Jones to do a lot. And Mac Jones was pretty good. He was doing everything. He wasn't taking deep shots, but okay, who cares? He was good, and then you're like, okay, do it again and again and again and again, and it's, I don't know. I thought Belichick. I know he's not offensive play caller, but just a weird game plan from New England as a whole. That I don't know. I just disagree. I understand the Bucs have an awesome run defense. Vita Vea is 350 pounds and plays like he's 750 pounds, and JPP held it. Shaq Barrett had a great game. A little more as a pass rusher. William Golston had some good interior. The Bucs have a good front seven. Hasn't played quite as well as it did last year, but you get what I'm saying, that they are an awesome run defense. But 8 carries, I think that's just malpractice. This was a 1-score game the entire game, and he run the ball 8 times.
That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was a good bounce back though. I feel for the Bucs. I feel like that win, it'll help Brady emotionally. I feel like because again, so much attention is on him. Every single eyeball in the world was on him while he was on the field. But after they got embarrassed week 3, I think that this was just to get the win feels nice. I feel like so.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take control here. I'm gonna go to a game that I have a rooting interest in. Ravens 23, Broncos 7.
Oh boy.
We'll touch on a certain Broncos salt factory in a little bit, but Lamar Jackson is an elite passing quarterback now.
He can do this.
He can do that. He was hitting bombs. He and Mark Andrews absolutely lit Justin Simmons on fire, like I said earlier. And his deep ball to Marquise Brown. Someone said, "Oh, that's a bad throw, great catch." No, it's a perfectly thrown football. Yeah, he had to dive, but I think he could have caught it without diving. So there's that. If he finishes his stride, he probably catches it. He's not like laying out. It's kind of like a leap because Hollywood does that and he wants to secure the ball. But I get it. But I thought it was an awesome throw. Busted coverage by Denver. At Lamar, the last 2 weeks, the last 11 quarters since he threw the second pick to Honey Badger, he's just been unreal. He has been on an ethereal plane that I don't think any quarterback in the NFL has touched this year. He has been so ridiculous, and it's not even a 2019 Lamar ridiculous. It's a 2021. This is a new age with Lamar Jackson. 2019 Lamar can do a little bit of 2021 Lamar was godly as a passer. He has been, to me, the best passer in the NFL the last 11 quarters. Since Sunday night, a couple weeks ago, he has been the best passer in the NFL. Joe Burrow has graded out well. Daniel Jones has been awesome, too. Jameis Winston had a great game against the Giants. We can touch on that game a little bit later.
Oh, yeah,
Lamar Jackson, folks, in his last 11 quarters has one turnover-worthy play and has, I believe, at least 7 big-time throws. 7 big-time throws. He had 6 big-time throws. I don't think I touched on this too much last week, but he was clinical against Detroit. He was hitting deep ball after deep ball, but Marquise Brown wouldn't catch it, right? And he had a beautiful deep ball to Sammy Watkins, and Watkins didn't catch it, right? This week, against the best secondary in the NFL, one of the best, it's a healthy secondary. New England isn't healthy. Baltimore isn't healthy. The Chargers have Derwin James is finally back, so that's cool. But against the best secondary in the NFL by many people, I remember all the arguments. Oh, yeah, I think the Ravens have the best secondary. No, you're an idiot. Denver has the best secondary. Okay, then get dunked on by a running back. 316 passing yards. I hate passing yards as a stat, but it fits. Lamar Jackson, his number one passing performance technically is Tennessee in the playoffs, but that was a game we were losing the entire time. Okay, we'll throw that one out there. We'll throw it out because the bad run game. Bad script. The run game was perfectly fine. The real number one, Miami Dolphins, week 1, 2019, 59-10. Oh, yeah, Lamar, perfect passer rating, 17-20, 324 yards, 5 touchdowns. Okay. Then the second most prolific passing game of Lamar Jackson's career came against the best secondary in the NFL. The 2019 Dolphins had perhaps the worst secondary. They had Minka, but Minka sucked that game. The only game he's ever allowed 3 touchdowns in. 316 passing yards against the best pass defense in the NFL. This is an elite secondary. This is a secondary that Kareem Jackson is the worst player on the secondary, and he's awesome. Justin Simmons is an all-pro caliber player. Patrick Surtain, everyone loves Surtain. Everyone was telling me he's going to be a top 10 corner by the end of the year. He's going to be a superstar, Pro Bowl, all-pro, whatever, by year 2. And then you have Kyle Fuller. He's there. And this is a loaded secondary, and Lamar Jackson said, LOL, I'm going to go off. He was spectacular, and we'll touch on the Fangio thing in a minute, but Lamar Jackson's development, the last 11 quarters as a passer, it's like a special blend of taking deep shots, and they're actually hitting when the receiver catches the football. And I saw a stat the other day. He has an average depth of target of about 12.5 yards, which, to put into perspective, no one else is above 9. Like, no one else is like in Lamar's stratosphere pushing the ball down the field. Just an absolute. I know he only completed like 50-something% of his passes. I get it. I don't care. Watch the freaking game. If you tell me, oh, he was only 16-31 and they beat the Lions by 2, you didn't watch the game. You are just telling me I did not watch this football game. I saw Justin Tucker made a 66-yard field goal and that was it. You saw, Ravens hit a game-winning field goal. Okay, Lamar played like elephant dunk. Okay, 50. Okay, he completed one more pass and incomplete. Okay, he sucked. No, he didn't. He was dropping dime after dime after dime after dime. And if Hollywood Brown catches any of those dimes, it's a 20-point game in the first half. So there's my Lamar Jackson spiel. Holy Christmas.
Okay. Can we talk about Fangio now?
Yeah.
Because this is the biggest salt I've seen in a long time. So pretty much what the context is, the Ravens were what was it, 3 yards away from tying the NFL record for the most consecutive games with 100 rushing yards.
Yes.
With 5 seconds left and the Ravens with the ball, so they pretty much won the game. All they have to do is take a knee, victory formation, all that fun nonsense. Instead of doing that, they run a play and they tie the record. Mm-hmm. And Fangio, after the game, I don't remember his exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, I knew they were going to do that. I knew this was what Harbaugh was going to do. Like, I knew it was coming. And, like, he was complaining about it. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you stop it then?
Yes.
You knew it was coming.
This is the first thing that I jumped to. Here's my thing. I do think it's a little bush league. I understand the concern that people have. Well, why are you doing that? You're risking the. No, I actually hear me out. You guys remember when Greg Schiano was an NFL coach, and they played Tampa, or he was on Tampa, and they played against New York, and they had this they slanted their defensive tackles inside on a quarterback kneel, and they hit Eli Manning. Lamar Jackson could have knelt the ball, and Shelby Harris could have been slanted down and could have whacked him. But he instead had sort of a rolling pocket. It's kind of like when a team sets up for a field goal, right? When you have a last second field goal, you want to get in the perfect spot for your kicker, and you just run a little bit and slide down. Lamar did that. He gained a couple yards, but he essentially did that. I think he was safer on that play than he could have been on a quarterback kneel down. So do I have an issue with going for the record? Maybe, but it's bit, cool. But it's like 3 years long. It started his first NFL start. I do find, I understand what Harbaugh is saying, that it's a meaningful record, and I get all the people are, well, okay, classic Ravens, they only care about the regular season. Okay, well, okay, whatever. They won the game. That's the most important thing. They won the game. So they won the game, and they had the record, and they dunked on Denver without needing to have the record for the first 59 minutes and 59 seconds. So Denver fans, calm down. Pittsburgh fans, Kansas City fans, calm down. Kansas City, take your L from 2 weeks ago. Fangio, Harbaugh, I can't really defend Harbaugh here. I think Harbaugh had a funny quote today that he didn't know of a 16-point play. And they were throwing jump balls into the end zone. Denver was with Drew Lock. So I think Fangio just comes off bad here to me. Harbaugh, I don't know if he comes off better, but I think Fangio comes off as a crotchety old man, yells at the clouds. So good win for Baltimore. Go into hostile territory, win by 16, totally shut down the Denver offense. We're able to move the ball through the air against an elite Denver defense. I'm worried about the running game with Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, and Latavius Murray. But, hey, maybe Tyson Williams is back in the good graces of the coaching staff and plays next week. Hopefully he does, so I don't have to complain.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Is there any other game you want to touch on?
Do we wrap it up with Mr. Urban Meyer?
Yeah, speaking of bad coaches, let's talk about Urban Meyer.
Yeah, go all in, Henry.
Yeah, so Meyer was spotted on video in a restaurant in Cincinnati dancing and having a good time and just chilling with this lady. And that lady wasn't his wife. So he's in the doghouse. Shad Khan puts out a statement. He says, we've spoken to Urban Meyer about the situation, and he's apologized. And it's a crisis in Jacksonville. There have been so many scandals since the Urban Meyer era began. All right? Shall I start from the beginning? Read this list?
Go all the way back to January when he gets hired. Oh, you're practicing your Hamlet reading, right?
Yeah, there we go. In January, he hired Chris Doyle as the team's director of sports performance. Chris Doyle was accused of making racist comments and belittling players during his time at Iowa.
Fantastic start.
Was he the Hitler guy from Last Chance
idea.
U? Okay, because I feel like I don't know. I just remember that.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
Signed Tim Tebow.
Oh God. As a tight end, by the way.
As a tight end. Drafted a running back in the first round despite having James Robinson on the roster. Openly admitted to saying he wanted Kadarius Toney with the pick they used on Travis Etienne.
Actually, okay, I'll have some pushback on that. Toney's a good player. Like I understand you can say Florida this, Florida that, but
well, yeah, but you can't say that. You have to go. Oh, he was the guy we wanted all wrong. You have to put out the PR.
You shouldn't openly say that after you've already made the draft pick.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. I would be cool with it. I'd be cool with it, but okay, go ahead.
Told reporters that they cut players due to their vaccine status. NFLPA opened an investigation. Had an open competition for starting quarterback from between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew, and I think that's enough.
That's a complete meme.
Yeah. Already traded away last year's pick, number 9 overall pick. The team is 0-4. Didn't travel with the team home after the loss to Cincinnati. Owner released a statement
today, right?
That Meyer must regain our trust and respect. Yes, he canceled the team meeting. And here's a quote from Mark Long of the Associated Press from Urban Meyer. It says, quote, Meyer on getting the team ready to play the Titans, quote, I don't believe that's in my court. The leaders on this team are going to make that decision. It depends on how much trust you have built up with them, how we structure everything this week and focus on winning that game. Urban Meyer is not coaching.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on our souls. What was that? What was that? Like, what?
Is he okay? Is he genuinely, like, mentally okay?
I don't think so. I don't know.
How can you be an NFL head coach and say, okay, I get this.
Oh, no, it's not up to me to control the locker room. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. He literally just said that. I
get the sentiment that it's with the players, but he went about saying that in the worst possible way. I don't even know if I could like come up with a way to say it worse than how Urban did. That was
like to hear that.
Oh, there was more.
There's more.
Oh boy.
I'm going to be extremely clear as I can. Our staff is working their tails off, but you know as well as I do that the ownership of this team is with the players.
Okay. I don't hate that. I think
that's not as egregious.
Yeah, there is some validity to that he can game plan all he wants. If you give Sean McVay 11 chairs, it's not going to become a 12-win football team, right? If you give Bill Belichick 53 packets of corn dogs, it's not going to be an elite football team. Yeah, he might. I had this theory when the Patriots started 8-0 in 2019 that they could win games if they had just the jerseys of the players, not the players themselves. And I will say that my take that Mike Tomlin would go 9-8 with 53 mini corn dogs. I'm going to have to readjust that because I didn't factor in how bad Ben Roethlisberger is. Actually, mini corn dogs might be.
Would you rather have Ben Roethlisberger or a mini corn dog?
I would 100% rather have mini corn dogs.
I would too. I was just being
because I think I would rather play 10 on 11 and just snap it to Najee Harris because Najee's actually playing well and the offensive line hasn't. Points. Yeah, the offensive line hasn't been like awful. It's been bad, but it hasn't been like It's been better than, I don't know, Cincinnati, kind of. Although, ironically enough, Cincinnati played against Pittsburgh and allowed 0 sacks. But, Jacksonville's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
This we've known for a little bit.
This is true.
I would like to take a moment to highlight that Trevor Lawrence should have stayed in school to avoid Jacksonville. I am petty. I have the receipts. Yeah. I have an October Sports Illustrated article that says that Trevor Lawrence should spurn the Jets and go back to Clemson. I have the whole clip from Jeremy Schaap that says the NFL should institute a draft lottery instead of rewarding the Jets with Trevor Lawrence. I have so much. I have Roddy White. I'm going to make a Curb Your Enthusiasm sort of montage here. And just tweet after tweet after story after story in this spinning order.
Oh man, yeah. I should ask Frankie for the YouTube login, and you can make a video.
I will do that.
Yeah. That would get so many views.
Hopefully that pops off. That would blow
because the Jets fans are like on crack and Jags fans are on crack, and then the Trevor Lawrence
on crack.
Yes, everyone is on crack. Yes, we love cocaine here.
We love cocaine.
Yeah.
Disclaimer: I don't think any of us actually.
No, I've never touched anything illegal in my life.
Oh, crap.
Hopefully we don't get demonetized for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we don't love cocaine. YouTube. Sorry.
Okay.
No. Aaron Donald plays with fake knives. YouTube.
Yes, he does.
Anyway, let's wrap up.
Retract into the handle.
We are gonna bring back our good old thumbs up, thumbs down segment here. The rest of the primetime games, Sunday night football games, because we've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks. We've been meaning to do it for a little while. We haven't quite done it yet. We're gonna look at the rest of the schedule. Do we think they will be good? Do we think they will be bad? Thumbs up or thumbs down? We start out with next week. Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs. This gets 2 thumbs up from me.
Yes, I agree.
Who do you guys think wins? I'm leaning Kansas City.
I'm leaning Kansas City, but it's going to be close. It could be like another field goal.
Najarius Sneed has this game of the year. 2 picks. Kansas City win.
Okay, I like to hear it. Let's go. Next week.
Seattle Seahawks versus Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't want to watch Big Ben in primetime.
Me neither. I really don't. Just like I didn't want to watch the Chargers on primetime yesterday, but it is what it is.
But at least okay. I'm going to touch on the Chargers for a moment. This is going to be totally out of order, so if you're watching this back on YouTube later, first off, thank you for watching. Second off, make sure you like and comment and tell us why you're watching this. But the Chargers, it's falling into place. They have a good team. I will admit it
really looked playing. As much as I like to diss them, I'll diss them for the crowd this time because holy crap, that was Raider Nation last night. But
Los Angeles is still kind of Raider.
There's a lot of Raiders fans here.
I feel like the Raiders might outdo the Rams at the game in Los Angeles.
We have to see. We have to see it.
We would have to see that. But Justin
next
Herbert,
year, I think actually, I'm not 100% sure, but Herbert looks fantastic.
Derwin
James, now that he's healthy, he's balling. Now that he's healthy.
Yes. Yeah, he did get burned on one deep ball by Henry Ruggs, but
that was
to put it in perspective, 99.99% of safeties in the history of organized football don't tackle Ruggs. Derwin James.
New York Jets.
Derwin James tackled the man that runs a 4.2 40. He was 50 yards down. It was a unbelievable, the superhuman tackle.
Dude had some kind of weird surgery on his leg that made him a cyborg or something.
I'm not opposed to that, but I want to throw out Jared Cook was awesome. Austin Eckler was awesome as a runner. Rashawn Slater looks like a slam dunk first round pick, and Corey Linsley has figured it out. The other games, it was like a generally good offensive line performance, but Linsley didn't play well. Oh my goodness, Linsley was back.
You know what though? I'm gonna find one reason to hate on them. Special teams. They did not fall for the fake punt. The Raiders did not fall for the fake punt.
Hunter Renfrow turned into prime Julio Jones breaking up that pass.
Oh goodness. That was
all right. Back to thumbs up, thumbs up. Seahawks, Steelers, ugly.
Thumbs down. We already gave that one thumbs downs.
Seahawks win big. Ben looks terrible.
Colts, 49ers. 49ers are more than likely going to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah. What is that? What is that?
Yeah, it's a weird one. That one might get flexed, honestly. That's week 7. They've got time. That one might get flexed. Cowboys, Vikings, week 8.
I'm always down to watch Dallas in primetime.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I feel like Dallas shows up. They really show up in the primetime games. That's when they look their
Zimmer
best.
Versus McCarthy. Chaos.
Kellen Moore season, baby. Boise State legend, now offensive coaching legend. He's going to call a wicked game plan. Cowboys win.
Week 9
Dallas team is loaded, by the way.
They are. They look really good. Week 9, Titans versus Rams. Thumbs up for my personal entertainment. I don't know how good of a game it's going to be. The Titans are weird this year.
I like this for one reason, and that's Derrick Henry versus Aaron Donald.
Oh, boy.
Good point. Yeah.
You know what? Yes, double thumbs up.
17 million thumbs up right there.
That's going to be fun to watch.
That's going to be great. I think Tennessee's so stupid that they have like a blowout loss to the Cardinals. Okay. They have this comeback win over the Seahawks that they don't look great in. Okay. Then they slap Indianapolis in a game that really shouldn't have been 9 points. It felt more like 90 points. And then they lose to the Jets, but they don't have their top 2 receivers. So there's like so many ebbs and flows here. I think that's gonna be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's gonna be fun to watch that one.
Wait,
for
is
sure.
it on an off week? Is it an even week or an odd week?
That's week 9.
Okay, so they're gonna win.
We'll see. Hopefully not.
My theory is that the Titans only can win on the odd weeks.
Wait a minute, they lost week 1.
I recant that statement.
Week 10, Chiefs versus Raiders.
Yes, absolute win.
Give
here.
me that one.
I don't even care to watch Mahomes on primetime.
The divisional games are.
I don't even care that the Chiefs are a much better team. That's just gonna be so much fun because
the Raiders
crack.
The Raiders could probably show up just for the fact that it is a divisional game on primetime. They're gonna use that energy and just go nuts.
Mm-hmm. Pause. Freaking Daniel Carlson. If he made a 52-yard field goal last night, but he misses a 55, 56-yard against Baltimore. Seriously, we would be 4-0 if Daniel Carlson just switched 2 field goals. Go ahead.
Okay, I lost my place. Week 11, Steelers, Chargers. We talked about Ben Roethlisberger. That one might get flexed.
With all due respect to the Chargers, because I think the Chargers are fun to watch. With all due respect to everyone involved with the Pittsburgh Steelers, not named Ben Roethlisberger, what are you doing? Just what are you doing? Go ahead.
Okay. Bills, Saints, week 12. Hang on. Why? Oh, wait. This is a Thanksgiving game, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like a Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good game.
It sounds like a good game, so I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
The
Jameis
actual
Winston
Sunday
looked
night
really
game.
good against the Giants, by the way.
He did.
I think it was the highest graded PFF quarterback, as odd as that seems. And he had 4 big time throws, 0 turnover. Then Taysom freaking Hill throws a pick and ruins it all. Frankie, if you're watching this, Taysom Hill is not meant to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Use him as a gadget player only.
The actual Sunday night game for week 12 is Browns-Ravens. I'm going to love watching that one.
Spicy.
I'm going to love watching that one.
I'm going to hate watching that. It's going to be so much fun. That's going to be a lot of fun.
NFC West week 13, 49ers Seahawks.
I don't love San Francisco this year.
I'm
cool with the game. I'm cool with the game. I don't trust San Francisco.
I don't like San Francisco, and I'm rooting for Seattle to lose out.
San Francisco's been up and down, but they've also had weird. They've had a mess at quarterback this year, so
this is true.
It is what it is.
Russell Wilson in primetime is a double thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in Seattle Sunday.
We have to play him this Thursday. Week 14, another divisional game. We've got a lot of divisional games actually. I think the rest of them are actually. Bears, Packers.
I'm down for the rivalry. I'm down to watch
the rivalry, sure, but the game is probably going to suck.
Old blood, young blood.
Unless they decide they want to play.
Andy Dalton probably starts that game, sadly.
Yeah. If they somehow start Fields, then that's a thumbs up. But otherwise,
Fields, no. Dalton.
Yes.
Saints, Bucks.
Saints, Bucks. Yeah.
Jameis revenge game.
The Washington football team versus the Dallas Cowboys.
NFC
East in primetime.
I said what I said earlier. Dallas, fun to watch. I don't want to watch Taylor Heineke or Fitzpatrick. With all, no.
Heineke's been.
Heineke's been. It's so. I talked about it earlier. It's been so Fitzmagic-y and so Tampa Bay Jameis Winston-y, and it's been so. It's not fun to watch as a fan of good quarterback play. I will almost take good quarterback play over good teams. I like Joe Burrow, and I think the Bengals are a good team because of quarterback play, not because of really anything else. Well, they're fine defensively, and they have good weapons, but
Oh boy.
Now, do you think that Cam Newton makes an appearance in Washington if Heineke keeps thinking of that?
Here's the thing: they're 2-2. I don't know. I would. Houston should have the thought think about. Washington should have to think about, but I don't know. I don't think Cam plays this year.
No. The last scheduled one is Vikings-Packers. That's a thumbs up for me.
Aaron Rodgers is a win in prime time. All right.
They do mention week 18 is TBD, but that's just because you never know what happens on the last week of the year. So,
right. Yeah. Last year we didn't have one. 2019 we had. It was Seahawks Niners, right?
I think so.
And then 2018 was the hilarious game that the Colts. I freaking picked the Colts to win by 17. They won by 16 because Vinatieri missed an extra point. I was really sad about that. I said they would win 34-17. They won 33-17. So I'm still mad about that. But Titans getting dunked on is always fun. Thanks, Baskey.
Good to see you here.
Yeah, we do have breaking news for Jack.
I already saw it.
Okay, playoff legend Clayton Kershaw
won't be getting Kershaw in the
postseason.
Well, no surgery.
Thankfully, no Tommy John. Tommy John.
Thank goodness. It sucks because there's a lot of talk about how this probably could be his last year as a Dodger. I don't know what
he's going to go join the Rangers.
When I think of the Dodgers' financial situation, I think of this team prints money. So I don't know, but
you're not wrong.
You just never know. We'll see. He could. He's been playing a really long time.
Yes.
So
all right.
We'll see what happens.
Before we go,
golf news. If any of you are interested.
We have
Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau will play a 12-hole invitational in Vegas just after Thanksgiving.
Don't they hate each other?
They do. That's why they're going to do it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Before we go, gun to your head. Who wins the World Series? Jack, you go first.
Dodgers.
Wrong. Henry, you go second.
I still think they got what it takes.
You know, my mind immediately leapt to the Baltimore Orioles, and that was wrong.
It's wrong.
Whoa. Hey, no, they got the real prize. They got the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
52-110. Chicago White Sox. Okay. I'm going to say the Milwaukee Brewers.
Brewers they've got a chance.
Yes. Right. They don't have what's his face. He broke his hand. Devin something.
Oh, Devin Williams. I drafted him in fantasy this year, and then he started allowing runs. It's like, what are you doing? And then he was awesome while I didn't have him, and then I pick him up again, and he breaks his hand. It's like, okay, whatever.
Because that's how fantasy baseball works.
Okay. Anyways, wild card predictions. I have the Red Sox and Cardinals. Jack, you go.
Well, the Yankees, Dodgers. We're pretty much just
okay. And then Henry.
I'm with Jack, Yankees, and Dodgers.
All right. Well, we will see you tomorrow for some baseball talk, and we will see you tomorrow with a variety of clips. So if you're seeing this again tomorrow, hey.
Hello from the future.
Yeah, hello from the future. Hopefully
nothing bad has happened.
Yeah, hopefully nothing bad has happened.
We're fighting another day.
Yeah, we will fight another day. Hopefully for my betting account, Boston wins. But hey, I can't have it. I was like, if one more of my bets hit, I would have had a positive week, but I just had a slightly negative week. So even if if Lamar Jackson had a rushing touchdown, I would have been positive. Or if Atlanta didn't blow the game against Washington, I would have been positive. So just a little bit of a rough week. I think 2 of my 3 best bets that I sent to Henry didn't work out. Oh well, it happens. With that said, folks, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on YouTube. Well, that's subscribing.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me try this again. Okay, here we go. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter @UStadium. Make sure you ring-a-ding-ding that Le'Veon Bell. I don't know why I hate the Ravens for doing that. I hate the Ravens for putting me in a situation that I don't like what the Ravens are doing. I think it's totally inept that they have freaking Freeman, Bell, and Latavius Murray. 2 of the 3 are fine. I understand that Le'Veon Bell is historically a very good pass protector. He wasn't very good on Sunday, but that's beside the point. I understand what you want them to do, but Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell are not elusive runners. Tyson Williams is. Tyson Williams can break NFL tackles. Tyson Williams runs a 4.40 or a low 4.540. He can do stuff. He gives an element of explosiveness to the inverted veer game when Lamar Jackson's going up the middle. Tyson Williams can break runs to the outside, and it can go well, like the J.K. Dobbins style. It's cool to have the other 2 of the other 3, but you only need 1 of them, or only need 2 of them, not all 3. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UStadium. Ring-a-ding-ding that Le'Veon Bell. We will be back tomorrow with more banger content. We have Play Like a Jet live at I don't know, 8 o'clock. Clay might try to change that. I'll post up some clips. So with that said, folks,